Yes, we are. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mos Bros Sports. With you always is me, J Mo, and my brother.
Bus driver.
And when we rock the mic, we rock the mic. To all of y'all, keeping y'all in health. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a great Super Bowl weekend. Hopefully nobody's still recovered from a hangover. That'd be quite the party. I wish I would have been at that one if that was the case.
It could be.
Really busy weekend. A lot of stuff going on this last weekend in sports and the week for that in general. We had Saturday was the Dodger Fan Fest up at Dodger Stadium.
Yes, sir.
We
I
were
don't
not.
know anybody that went though. I
don't know
would have somebody that went.
I saw some pictures online. It looked like it was a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people were out there. Time of the Sword. A lot of players were out there.
Vin was out there.
I saw a video of Puig dancing with some girl on stage and
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
like that. Yeah, but it looked like a pretty cool event. I wish I would have known a lot sooner about it. But
Well, I mean, nothing we could have done anyways. Saturday was a Mo's family event. We were celebrating Grandma Jackie's 80th birthday party. Big
Yes,
milestone
sir.
there. So
8-0.
8-0. Shouts out to Grandma Jackie, the dear door side of the family. Hopefully she's watching. I don't know if Grandma knows what a shout out is, but we're gonna drop her one anyways. So that was a blast getting together with the family. That was good. We actually hung out then. And then Sunday, we had separate plans for the Super Bowl.
Yes,
My
sir.
brother, what did you do?
Went to a buddy's house. Had a little barbecue. Couple people came over. Nice atmosphere. Inside TV, outdoor TV. Had some carne asada, a little chicken.
Nice.
You know, the usual side dishes, chips, dip.
Mm-hmm.
Couple cocktails, couple adult beverages, couple beers.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing too out there. Had to work the next day, so I didn't want to
Right.
go too hard on it though.
Right.
But it was a good game. Everybody, there was a couple people rooting for the Seahawks, a couple people rooting for the Patriots, so it was a good place to be. You know, so you had some
Co-ed event?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple kids there too, but you know, they were, playing their own, little games in the backyard. So
Okay.
didn't have any interruptions. You got to see the game the whole way. It wasn't standing room only. It wasn't, trying to find the last beer or anything like that. It was a good place to be.
That's
place to
good.
be,
That's
yeah.
definitely good. And for that reason, I didn't go out to a Super Bowl party because I wanted to really sit down and enjoy the game.
Right.
And so I ended up going to Mom and Pop's
Okay.
and just had something real chill over there.
Mhm.
We just did sandwiches, the Costco tray of sandwiches. I love that
Always.
Costco tray, man.
I
That's
think they're okay.
oh, it's
I think they're
good.
just all right.
Just all right.
Yeah, it's not, I'd rather have a Roscoe sandwich. You know what I mean? And cut.
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
no, I agree. Don't get me
But
wrong.
Those little, I don't, the little croissant roll, croissant. Nah, they're just okay. They're nothing special. And me, I'm a big sandwich guy. You know, as you can tell.
They're good though. I
I
mean,
love the
just for something you could
sandwiches.
pick up off the shelf real
Yeah,
quick.
it's
I
not too
like it,
bad.
and it makes it. So we just did that, chips and dip, so a frozen bag of wings that we threw in the. Yeah, we were recovering from the big 80th birthday party the day
Yeah.
before, and I didn't want to cook. I don't think anybody wanted to cook. I wasn't gonna make
Right.
anybody cook, so we just made it simple. But it
Did
was
you cook
perfect.
the day before for the party?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, but I didn't want to cook.
What I did see something over the weekend. I got a video sent. Looks like one of your kids knocked over the library in your house. You want to give a little backstory into that video you got going on there?
So I was actually that happened. I think it was Monday.
What was it, Monday night?
It
I
was
thought over the
Monday night. I was doing some show prep. I was looking up some stats and some stuff from the Super Bowl. And then and my wife Bernice, she was looking up some stuff on housing. We're looking to move soon,
Right.
so we're both occupied, on our devices. And the kids were playing toys, and they're usually pretty good about entertaining themselves. I've got a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, so they not. I know but I'm telling the audience out there. So they usually keep themselves entertained.
Right.
And so I hear my oldest one, Gabriel, he said, "Dad, don't come in here. There's a booby trap." I said, "Booty trap?" He said, "Yeah, booby trap." So sure enough, I walk in the room, and there's probably about, well, we have
It was stacked.
it was
The
stacked.
video he said as he was standing.
So
on a
there was
pile of
two
books.
that we have two shelves on a bookcase and full of books. So the top one probably had a good, because they're kids books, they're small. I mean, there had to be a
Of
good
course,
like
yeah.
60, 70 books.
Yeah,
And
except
they're
those
just
thin
all
ones,
laid out
yeah.
on the floor. Then he took all his sweaters and his backpacks and threw them out all on the floor too. "Don't walk over here because you'll slip and fall. This is for the bad guys." That's
What
he
bad
tells
guys
me.
was he trying to get?
There's always bad guys out
Always
there,
bad
man. You got to
guys,
watch
huh?
out for the bad guys.
Got to get him a cape. Call him the
He's
Cape
got
Crusader.
a couple capes.
There you go.
Side story too, before we get into the sports, I
Right.
saw an interesting story today, and I wanted to get your take on it. I was working today. I was at a medical clinic, trying to drum up some business, and so I'm in the waiting room, and they've got the TV on in there. CNN is doing this article
Hmm.
or this report, and it has to do with the Silicon Valley. That's where the Apple, the Microsoft,
Right.
all the high tech jobs are, right?
Google, I think too is also
Yeah,
up there.
exactly.
Yeah.
All these high tech jobs, all the internet based stuff, and so the report was on sex, drugs, and the Silicon Valley,
Hmm.
and they're doing this whole thing on that. There's these, there's young
People up there
people out
just
there right out of college,
hooking up.
and they're dropping acid so they could think outside the box, and like
Yeah.
they're doing it. I don't know if it's while they're on the job or if it's after hours at home so they could expand. I
Hmm.
mean, I know blue collar guys like you and I
Yeah.
mean, if it gets out, or if something happens, or any, Joe the plumber, wants to smoke a little weed or do whatever, or what have you, he's going to get busted if
Oh, for
that gets
sure.
found out at work. I
Of
mean,
course.
just because these people have more of an elite job. I mean, what do you think? Do you think
Maybe it's a more laid back type of atmosphere though.
it is a
Maybe
laid
that's
back
what it
type of
is.
atmosphere?
It's more of a it is more of an open-minded business because they're creative thinking. They're thinking of new things that people haven't thought of.
So you need to be able to drop LSD to do
No,
that?
I'm not saying that's what helps. I mean, I have no idea what it helps you do or don't do, but I'm just saying that's probably what they're using that for. If they say it helps them expand their mind or whatever,
Mhm.
I mean, you got to think it's Apple and Google and whatever else is up there. They got to think of the next new big idea,
Yeah.
something that
Let's
hasn't been
make our
thought of.
phone half an inch bigger.
Exactly, yeah. HD 4X, you know what I
Right.
mean? Type
On
of
the
thing. So,
phone.
exactly.
That's probably going to be coming on the phone pretty soon.
What's that? HD?
The 4K on the phone.
Oh yeah.
I bet you it's
3D
going to
phone.
be 3D phone. I don't know. As long as I can make my calls and my text messages,
That's
that's
it.
all I really do.
Watch your
I mean, I don't
sports.
really care.
Check your
Exactly.
sports. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all you
absolutely.
need.
So speaking of sports, let's move on to the next topic. Got to recap the Super Bowl.
course.
The big game. Everybody that pretty much, you don't have to be a football fan.
Biggest
You don't have
party
to
of the
be a
year.
sports fan. The
Yeah.
biggest party of the year, the one everybody attends. Huge numbers, huge ratings, and
Said
everybody
like over 100 million people were watching it or something like
a
that.
great game.
Great game.
A really great game. I was
Greatest game.
excited. I was into the game the whole way through. I mean, I would be anyways,
Mhm.
but the fact that it was a good game, it was close, it was back and forth,
Yeah, back and
just
forth.
made it that much better to watch.
Yeah, 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. I think Patriots were up 14-7 going into half. It looks like they're going to have halftime lead.
And I'm sorry, but if you had 0-0 in your on your squares,
Yeah.
you probably thought you were done.
Yeah.
At 0-0.
Yeah, because you thought at least somebody get a field goal or something like that.
And I think, to be honest with you, somebody in the pool we were in had
Yeah.
0-0 and 4-4. I think
The
it
same
hit
person
twice.
had both?
I think the same person
No,
had
no, no.
both
What
and hit
happened,
twice.
What happened was some person had 4, and so they got 14-14 at halftime,
And the reverse,
and the reverse. So that was a couple hundred.
right?
And then they got third quarter score, which
Uh,
was
24-14.
24-14.
No,
Yes, it was 24-14.
Seahawks, right?
Because the Pats were down by 10.
That's right.
So he got the same, and he
That's
got the
right.
reverse.
Wow,
And I was
big payday.
Yeah, and I ended up with $50.
Not
Got
bad.
my money. Got my money back.
I
It's
didn't.
not too bad. So, but yeah, one of the greatest games we've probably ever seen in our lifetime so far. Talk about Super Bowls.
Right.
Close game, back and forth. You thought the Patriots were gonna that first drive. They come out, they march down the field, and they're just getting things done, making things happen. And it just looked like this. This is the Patriots offense. It's gonna dominate the rest of the game.
Right.
And then it goes back and forth, and like I said, it's 14-7. You think they're gonna go in at halftime and be up. All of a sudden, Russell Wilson, gets a last-minute, 2-minute drive going at the end of the half,
Hmm.
and they get that touchdown. With I think it was like 6 seconds left or something like that on the clock going into half.
There was, I think, 3 seconds left.
Yeah,
And a
three-
gutsy call too from the 11-yard line. I think is where it lined up on the line of
Yeah.
scrimmage. Hey, and before we continue, because I want to make sure we're hearing your points, Alan. I'm getting a text message here that people can't hear Steven. I don't know if
Mic check.
Mike check. We
Mic
should
check.
be good. I can hear him, so I think we're okay. But I just want to double check. I thought that was a gutsy call.
Yeah.
And I wanted to comment about this because a lot of people are up in arms about
Mhm.
the call that Pete Carroll made at the end of the game. But it seemed to be,
we'll
when
get
I
to
went back and watched the game, that call, and I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it was the right call, but it seemed to be in line with their game plan. You've got second quarter, they're down by 7. They're going into halftime.
Mhm.
There's 6-7 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
The conservative play, the smart play, is say, let's kick a field goal and let's go into the locker room
Right.
and let's make our second half adjustments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Beat down by a couple points. They get the ball coming back into halftime,
Right.
and then it's their turn to score again.
Maybe you rush the ball to get it in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You
Call
know,
quick
and
time.
you
I think
call
he had one. I think
timeout.
he had one timeout left. Yeah.
Right. But instead, you know, he was playing the mismatch. He goes to the unheard of receiver in Matthews and just throws it, not necessarily a corner route, but throws to him in the front corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And the kid goes up for it and makes a
Yeah,
great
it was a
catch.
tall wide receiver over a shorter corner,
Right.
which the Patriots adjusted later on in the game. Go
Right.
ahead.
So that was a gutsy call.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people would have made that call on that play, especially
True.
throwing for the end zone like
True.
that. So
I think, especially being in the Super Bowl, I think they're gonna. Most of the teams, I think, would have been more on the conservative side.
exactly.
Get my 3 points, because you never know when you're gonna have another chance to score more points. You got to take every advantage that you can when you're inside, the 40-yard line, 30-yard line, when you're trying to at least score a field goal.
Right.
Especially when time's running out.
Mhm.
You have to be in a position to score points, especially in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
You got most people watching. The nerves are on. Players are nervous. Coaches are nervous. They may not say it, but they got to be feeling it.
I think that might have attributed to the 0-0 score in the first half. I don't think that's why Brady threw that interception. I mean, that thing was just gift wrapped though.
Yeah.
I mean, he
was under pressure. He threw it. He threw it when he shouldn't have thrown it.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. So Seattle's defense did step up big in the first half, but they seemed to dissipate in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. And that was one of the big reasons that I saw for New England winning the game was Tom Brady, proven champion, fourth Super Bowl now, and he stepped up big in that fourth quarter. I think he completed like 11 of 12 passes.
Yeah.
I think, and what I really liked in this game was that he actually used Danny Amendola, a guy who he hadn't really used much of the season.
He did in the Colts against the Colts too, also.
Right, but it was good to see him used in this game. He used all the weapons he had. Didn't use LeGarrette Blount quite as much though. I think he only had maybe 40 yards rushing, 60 yards rushing.
But that was their game plan.
Yeah.
It was to. They probably watched film the past 2 weeks, and what is it? We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna pass the ball. They ran the ball 30-something times against the Colts, and now they come in and run the ball maybe 15 times against the Seahawks. And Brady throws it for 50 attempts or something like that. They got 4 touchdowns against 4 different wide receivers. I think Gronk caught one, Amendola caught one, Edelman caught one, and LaFell caught one. So
we're going to come right back and talk a little bit more Super Bowl. If you want to call in and talk about the Super Bowl, it's 855-969-7268. We'll catch you after the break.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bank Mart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, 2 things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number 1 Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number 1. There's only number 1. There's only number 1.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at Protect. Just reminding you that Protect Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
10304.
Music.
Hey, coming back at you. Mos Bros Sports here on Wednesday, getting you through this hump day in the middle of the week. Hump day. And we want to hear from you guys. You know, a lot of people talking about the Super Bowl. We want to hear what you guys got to say. So give us a call. The number is 855-969-RANT. That's 855-969-7268. Give us a call. Jump in the conversation here. Let's hear what you got to say. So, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, going back to the point, they had the game plan. Patriots had the game plan. They were going to throw the ball. That's the matchup they saw, even though the Legion of Boom, the corners and all that stuff. And losing Lane, Jeremy Lane, that first, was in the first quarter when that first pick, he ended up breaking his arm. I think that was big. Because,
that was the one that Brady gift wrapped for him. He ended up fracturing his wrist or something like that.
Yeah, and then that backup corner came in, and Brady was picking on him the rest of the game.
Right.
Edelman was on him a couple times. I think Amendola was trying to be guard him, LaFell. And every time somebody was being guarded by that rookie or second-year corner, they were going after him.
And Seattle was doing the same thing. They weren't looking towards Revis. They weren't looking towards Browner. They were That's why this kid Matthews had a great game. They were looking towards their other receivers. Lockett, didn't really get much. Curse didn't really get much except for that circus catch towards the end of the game. And that was one of the reasons. I was rooting for the Patriots. One, I had money on it, and two, I thought they were the better team. I wanted to see them win. On paper, Seattle kind of stacked up statistically as the better team, but the game's not played on paper; it's played on the field.
Right.
New England was looking hot. They were on a streak. They were looking really good. They were the team to beat. And for all the other reasons, our buddy Shmoo, told us about on the show last week. I thought they were definitely the team to beat. And then I'm watching the game, and to see that catch, the angle that they showed on TV to begin with, it looked like it hit the ground.
It did. At first, I was like incomplete.
Incomplete pass. It looks. I said, great.
The rest of people we were watching it with, they were like, "Oh, he caught it! He caught it!
Right.
it!"
And when he caught, and then they showed the replay, and I said, "No, not again.
Yeah,
not again." I just hate to see a team get jobbed on a circus catch like that. I mean, granted, it was a talented catch. The guy stayed focused.
Yeah.
He never lost his concentration. He didn't necessarily know where the ball was, but he had the presence of mind to still be aware, to look for the ball. And, we saw in the first Super Bowl that Brady and the Patriots lost, the David Tyree helmet catch,
right,
which was just out of this world. We've never seen anything like that before. And that circus catch basically kept the Giants alive, and they went on to win that game.
Right.
And then in the second, in Patriots-Giants Part 2, Mario Manningham had that sideline catch, and they replayed it over and over and over.
He got 2 feet in.
He did get 2 feet in. Just a phenomenal catch. And it seemed like, and that was, again, the pass there that kept that drive alive and let them go on to win that game.
Yeah.
I just would have hated to see that happen again in this game.
And especially this time, too, because the Pats just came down. They were down by 10 in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter. And they came down and drive and got those 2 touchdowns to come up and get the lead. And so you see the Seattle just getting up to get this drive. And, I think it was second. I want to say it was second down when they threw that long toss.
Might have been.
The next thing you know, it's this circus catch, and you're just like, oh my God, like you said, here we go, another Giants little once in a million catch down the sideline. It's never gonna happen again.
At that point, I thought game over.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
Inside the 5, I think it was inside the 5-yard line. I think
they were inside the 10. I don't think it was inside the 5.
Yeah, oh, that's right, because Marshawn Lynch ran it in. I think they were like the 6 or 7.
Yeah, because Lynch had like a 6-yard run that put him down at the 1-yard line.
Exactly. Yeah, good call. So they ran down there. Lynch, by the way, good game.
Great game.
100 yards rushing.
Yep.
1 touchdown. He could have had 2. Could have had a second one. If they just would have, like everybody's been saying, run the ball one more time. Whatever the matchups were, whatever they're saying, they run the ball one more time, they get stuffed, big deal. They have 1 timeout.
Right.
Then throw the ball. Or you have Russell Wilson, a great running quarterback, or you have still one of the best running backs in the league, beast mode. Run another run play. He was averaging probably 3 or 4, 4 to 5 rushing yards per carry.
Easy.
In the game.
Mhm.
So why not keep rushing with him? I just didn't get the call play. Like I said, Lynch was getting his own during the game. Like I said, 100-yard rushing game is absolutely.
New England's defense didn't have an answer for him.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, they
well,
weren't.
100 yards. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Russell was not having a great day passing. I think he was like 12 for.
Yeah, they kept him in check pretty
25.
good. They kept
They
Russell
did.
Wilson in check pretty good.
And they were playing man coverage.
Mhm.
They were isolating him. Revis Island and Browner. We
Yep.
talked about this last week. And that was a great thing. That and New England's defense also did something that we haven't seen a defense do. Throughout the entire playoffs, and that was they were able, for the most part, not entirely, but they were really able to help contain Russell Wilson, and they actually sacked him a couple times.
Yeah.
Not something you see that often.
Yeah,
He did get away, scramble out on a few plays,
he had some rushing yards. Yeah,
but I didn't see him doing that in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Why not?
I just think they had a spy on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, they had, whether it was a linebacker or a safety, watching Russell Wilson's every move, and they weren't going out to play zone defense. They weren't going and helping out coverage. Their job was to watch Russell Wilson, watch what he did, and do not let him run. That was their game plan. They had it throughout most of the game,
Right.
but he was able to run earlier in the game, and in the fourth quarter, I think Russell Wilson was just trying to throw the ball down the field.
Well, they had to. They had
Yeah.
to drive. They had to make plays.
Right.
Especially then after New England had that last drive when they scored to take the lead,
Mhm.
and they're and then Seattle's down 4 and they've got to drive for the touchdown. A field goal's not going to do it.
And talk about the Malcolm Butler kid that got the interception.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he was the one that was covering that miraculous catch down the sideline.
Uh-huh.
He was the one that tipped it actually out of the wide receiver's hands, but unfortunately it fell right back on him.
Mhm.
Just imagine how he felt going out, and he came out one play later.
Mhm.
He comes out for the next play
When Lynch rushed.
when Lynch rushed for like 4 or 5 yards, and then he goes right back in when they go to 3 wide receivers. So he's got to think, I got to redeem myself. But still in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, damn, I just let up this big play, 30, 40 yards, and they're almost about to score right now. In the back of your mind, he's like, it's got to be weight in his shoulders for sure. And then he sees this opportunity. I mean, he cut that. When he saw the ball being thrown, he got within 5 yards in like half of a second.
Right.
He was just there, and he got that interception, and all the luck to him. I think he was an undrafted rookie.
I don't think it was luck, because I heard an interview with him during the week, and
Okay.
he, as soon as he saw, they sent him back in because they see that Seattle's setting up for a pass play. So he comes in on the field, and he said he recognized the formation. He knew the play that was going to be called, the way they stacked up the receivers on that side. So he's playing behind, the defender on his side of the ball. 2 receivers are stacked up right behind each other.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what to do. He said it was going to be a bump, and they were going to cut in, and they were going to show the throw on the short slant route. Try to say that 5 times fast. So he knew what it was. And in the interview, I heard him say that he had practiced it during the week. Coaching, they had worked with him because he didn't cover it right. In practice, they actually got the pass off on him. I don't know if it was Brady, if it was the second string offense that he was up against. But so, he said he didn't plant his foot. He didn't really get his body in there and really plant it with authority and kind of get in there, and the catch got through on him. So he knew from the mistakes in practice and from watching the game tape, from studying film and knowing exactly what was going to happen, he was prepared for that moment. And that's what you do. How are you going to be great if you don't study greatness? And he was prepared. He was ready for that. And all the credit to him. Unfortunately, I know he's getting some play, but the guy's got to get his recognition. As bad a play call as it was, he made the play when he needed to. That's
Great
clutch,
play.
and that's as bad as the call was, they earned that. The New England Patriots earned that. They took it away, and more credit to the kid Butler. Now let's talk about the play itself. What do you think's going through Pete Carroll's mind? How does he call a pass play? I heard him comment during the week. They
Yeah.
were looking to throw a play away. How do you throw a play away with 1:07 on the clock in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, and the game is on the line, and you're on the 1 yard line?
He says he saw it, that they had their goal line defense in, so he thought a pass play was the best thing
New
to do.
England's goal line defense.
Goal line defense was in. So they had 8 guys in the box, but they still had man coverage on the outside, so they figured a crossing route, no linebackers there to cover up any holes. There's no safeties. There was just like 6 or 7 down linemen, a linebacker, and then the rest corners were on the outside playing man-to-man. So that's why he says he has the right call to call that play. We can argue it forever and ever. It's not the right.
I'm not arguing with you.
No.
It's a bad call.
Right, okay, all right.
But it could be debated. I understand what you're saying. But I'm
Right,
just saying,
right.
I wanted to be clear. Bad call.
Bad call. Bad, and it has to be all on Pete Carroll. I mean, they say Russell Wilson, he could have opted out of the.
Could have called an audible.
Could have called an audible. He could have done this. Could have done that. But it comes down to the play calling. You got to trust the play. Russell Wilson saw the coverage. He thought the play was going to work. If you see the defensive back, he's off 5-7 yards.
Of course, Russell Wilson's going to say that because that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of guys
That's
that,
what they're
that
supposed
Pete
to
Carroll
say.
brings on board.
Yeah.
And same thing for Beast Mode too. I thought it was great. He didn't throw anybody into the bus. He said he wasn't surprised by the call. He said it's a team sport. More credit due. Lots of respect to him for that. I heard earlier this week on the Petros and Money show. Petros is a USC alumni. Used to play running back for USC. And he was really close to the team when Pete Carroll was coach there. This was before the sanctions, so a lot of media, a lot of people were able to get on the field and practice. And Petros was really close with Pete Carroll. Matter of fact, he would have him on the show once a week. And he was saying the kind of guy that Pete Carroll is he and So I'm repeating what he said. I don't know how true this is, but I wanted to get your take on it. He was saying that Pete Carroll's the kind of guy where he wants to make sure, or he's concerned about the shine. Who's going to get the shine? Who's going to get the credit? And he would want that to go to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's the guy. He's the quarterback. Marshawn Lynch is the guy that doesn't like to talk to the media. That's I don't want to necessarily controversial because he's not really getting in trouble off the field or anything like that. But, people are talking about him because he doesn't like to talk to the media. He's just here so he doesn't get fined. And for that reason, may have been part of the reason why he calls the pass play. Do you think there's any credibility to that? Do you buy it at all? Does it stink?
I don't. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you're the biggest game in anybody's career. You talk about growing up playing football your whole life. The one game you want to win is a Super Bowl. And he's talking about shine. Whoever makes a game-winning play is going to get shine, but so is the head coach.
Yeah.
So why would he not want to pick the right play to run beast mode and to get the coach? Coach gets all the shine as well, too. Coach gets Super Bowl ring. Coach is going to get another raise next time his contract's up. He gets plenty of shine. He does all the media. That same thing that the MVP would do. He goes on the podium and gets a trophy. So I don't believe any of that. I don't think he wants somebody to have more shine than the other person. I don't buy into that. I don't think it's.
Well, if you guys have an explanation as to why Pete Carroll made that call, we'd love to hear it. Give us a call here on iRant Radio, Mos Bros Sports, 855-969-7268. We're going to drop off here for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to just put a final cap on the Super Bowl, and then we're going to get into a little bit of recruiting class, a little bit of UFC, a little bit of golf. We're going to get into it all. Stay tuned. We'll catch you when we come back.
Hey, what's up, homie? What's happening?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, are you into sports?
Oh, yeah, bro. Angels, Dodgers, Ducks all day.
Oh, yeah, you gotta listen to the Mos Bros Sports, man. They cover LA sports.
Where can I listen, bro?
Oh, you gotta check them out on iRant Radio. That's irantradio.com or on Mos Bros Sports on Facebook. You gotta check them out, Holmes.
Okay, bro. I'll check them out.
All right, I'll check you later, homie.
All right, man. See you later, bro.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Make sure to check us out every week at the3guysrant.com.
And you'll find out what they say we're faces for radio and voices for the deaf. Damn right. Have you seen yourself lately? Hey, I'm audio candy. All right. Always tune in each week so you can hear the really absurd news and talk with the Three Guys Rant. Arvin, how do they reach us?
Call us at 855-69-3-GUYS. 855-69-3-GUYS. It's hot out here. I need a drink.
Have a mucho macho michelada. What's a michelada? Michelada is a Mexican Bloody Mary made with beer. All you have to do is get bucket-sized michelada, open it up, pour it in your favorite beer, and you're good. What if you don't like beer? You can use it in lemon lime soda, vodka with lime, or tequila with lemon lime soda.
Sounds delicious.
Where do you find it? You can find it at your favorite store, or you can go to muchomachomichelada.com. Find us on Twitter and Facebook.
It's one thing to own a business, it's another to promote it. That's why thousands of business owners rely on Monster Marketing Group. Design, print, mail, custom mailers, all for as little as 29 cents delivered. That includes postage. Send to a neighborhood, zip code, or an entire city. With just a simple call, 888-49-MONSTER, you can easily promote your business, sales, events, grand openings, send coupons, and much more.
Your mail delivers in as little as 5 days. No dealing with the mailing list or paperwork. Monster Marketing does all the heavy lifting. Get started now by calling 888-49-MONSTER or go to monsterng.com.
Monster Marketing Group. We deliver, we give you results, we can prove it.
My whole team is eating off of this good shit. Good shit, nigga. Next time, don't overlook shit. Keep your eyes open and your wallet in your front pocket. Prison chef, ghosts and knives, niggas is the profit. Prison chef, ghosts and
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mos Bros Sports. JMO and TBD, the bus driver, here with you. Talking a little bit of the Super Bowl. We're going to recap it here.
So what do you think now? Obviously we know, it's a dynasty, a legacy, all that stuff. The team, Patriots, Belichick's got his 4 rings, and now does Tom Brady. Do you put Tom Brady's tied now with Montana and Bradshaw,
right?
As with the 4 championship rings.
That's right.
Each. So what do you take on that? Is he better than those 2 guys? Obviously, I think he's better than them. He's been to 6 Super Bowls.
Right.
He's lost 2.
Right.
He's won 4.
And Montana was 4 for 4.
Correct.
I don't know about Bradshaw's record. I think he lost 1.
Could be correct.
Yeah.
We have to check that. But I think I thought Bradshaw was close to winning them all, but I could be wrong. But he's been to 6 of them, won 4.
Right.
He's got 4 rings. So I mean, does that obviously he's there with those top 3? Is he the best in that order? I can't say. I never watched Bradshaw. You can only see his highlights of him and Swanee.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The miraculous reception. What's the running back's name?
Gosh.
It'll be
I know exactly.
Franco Harris.
Franco Harris,
yes,
yeah.
Sir. So he had that whole team. But I mean, what do you think? Is he better than them too, or do you think he's right there with them? What's it?
Different times, different eras. It's really tough to call. And I think a big thing is that the rules have changed a lot. The rules protect the quarterback a lot more.
100%.
They protect and the receivers, the hands that could be put on the receivers back in the day versus what you can do now. Totally different. What I will say is Brady has 4 for 6 or 4 for 4. I say 4 for 4 is better. For that reason, I think I got to give the edge to Montana for being greatest quarterback of all time. Bradshaw definitely right there. I mean, in the conversation. Brady definitely of this era, of his era, greatest quarterback. Absolutely, no doubt, hands down.
Yeah. But Joe Montana, he got to throw to Jerry
Rice. I know.
You know what I mean? Bradshaw, Lynn Swan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, Tom Brady
throwing to Brandon LaFell.
Yeah, Brandon LaFell
and Wes Welker.
Yeah, Wes Welker. He'll be a good he's a good receiver though, but he's throwing to Gronk.
Randy Moss.
He's throwing to Edelman. He had Randy Moss that 1 year, but they didn't win it that 1 year.
They didn't win that year.
They didn't win that year. So, but he's always had like a wide receiver carousel. He's never kept wide receivers too long. He's never had a number 1 besides Randy Moss, really.
Okay.
I mean, Edelman.
And that was Randy Moss post prime. He wasn't even number 1 at the time when he was with them.
Oh, but they tore it up that year.
They did, no doubt. But he was definitely not the Randy Moss that he was in Minnesota.
And he's a solid slot receiver. I mean, he could be a number 1 on anybody's team.
Right.
But he just takes advantage of having Tom Brady as quarterback. I think Tom Brady's got to go, hands down, got to go down as the best quarterback ever.
I think they're really well synced, too, because Edelman was a quarterback in high school for sure, maybe college as well. I think in college he was also. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, you could debate it. I mean, Kobe or Jordan, it goes to that conversation. Right. Or you even throw in either Wilt or Russell. Mm-hmm. You throw those, or Kareem, you throw those guys in that conversation. It's tough to say. It's tough, I think, when you're comparing across, generations or decades or eras, especially when the game changes so much. It's tough to call, but I think he's definitely worthy of the conversation. I mean, especially his performance in the fourth quarter, down by 10, and he drives his team down for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I mean, just absolutely clutch when you need it. Mm. And speaking of that, I just remembered, and I was surprised that you haven't brought it up sooner, but the final score of the game was
28-24.
And if you check our Facebook page, I predicted 27-20, and the bus driver predicted
28-24.
Right on the nose.
Yes, sir. And I actually think he also said it on last week's show when we had everybody in here.
Yeah,
I think I said 28-24.
It was pretty impressive. We'll have to check the tape on that.
I should have bet money on that. Huh?
You should have.
I said I always said by 4 points.
I know you did say by 4.
I always said by 4 points, and then I think I finally put the score out there, 28-24. I just wish I would have won a little bit more money off of that. Though.
It was a good call. Now, one last thing I do want to talk about relating to the Super Bowl. Then we can move on to the next topic. But something that blew my mind, and I'm freaking out, not freaking out, but I am getting excited, yelling at the TV. Why doesn't Bill Belichick call a timeout? He lets the clock run down from, I think, a minute 3 or a minute 7 down to like 24 seconds. What is he doing? What is he thinking? Not calling a timeout.
He's saving the timeouts for offense, is what he's doing.
But you let it run down any longer, there ain't going to be an offense.
Right. But that I think that's what it was in his mindset. He had the trust in his defense to stop him right there. And he knew that Seattle had one more timeout and they were going to call it eventually.
You think there was a little bit of head games involved there? I mean,
oh yeah,
you got Carroll and Belichick. Like
Belichick's a great coach.
They're staring at each other from the sideline, seeing who's going to blink first.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason for the bad play call. I mean, it was just really weird.
Yeah.
And other people said it too. Professional athletes, be it Deion Sanders or Michael Irvin, or people are talking about after the game. Why isn't he calling a timeout? I didn't understand it. I thought it was a gutsy play. I thought he should have called a timeout. I know he has faith in his defense. Yeah, I thought he should have called the timeout. Obviously, I'm wrong. That's why I don't coach, because you see what he did with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, would you have considered calling a timeout, let beast mode run it in, and then do you give Brady a minute to go down the field? Because all he's really got to do.
I think they had 2 timeouts left too. I think the Patriots had 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they could have called one. I think
both teams had 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I think I would have called one timeout right there, and then I would have saved one for the offense, because you knew they were at the 1 yard line, they were going to score.
Right.
And I don't know what his thinking was. I mean, maybe he just put all the pressure on the Seahawks to see what they were going to do. Put it on their plate. Let them try to figure it out.
I saw an interview with him. I don't know if I really buy it. He said he liked the look of it. He liked his goal line defense. He sent him in.
Yeah.
He liked that against the pass play, so that was the reason why he didn't call the timeout.
Yeah, I saw a video online too where they had their goal line D in, but I believe they took out an extra lineman, and they actually called in the third corner, which was Butler.
Right.
They called him in from the sideline.
Exactly what they did last minute.
And they got him in last minute because they saw the 3 wide receivers coming out on the field. So, I mean, great game, great call. One of the greatest games we'll ever see, I think. Comes down to a last-minute play.
For me, I think it might have been the greatest show on turf was the Rams versus Tennessee Titans. When they had that last-minute play where he just reached out. To me, that was one of the greatest Super Bowl endings.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Yeah, that was a good game too.
All right, so Seattle Seahawks.
Down goes Frazier!
Yes,
you
sir.
are done.
Yes, sir.
Bus driver.
On to the next one.
We've spent a lot of time on the Super Bowl, but it's one of the biggest games of the year. Where are you driving us next?
I think let's talk a little college football. Big college signing day today.
Mm-hmm.
Not too sure, about all the high school recruits. I don't follow. There's too many, damn high school football players out there to know who's coming from where and who's going where. I just know UCLA got the top quarterback, coming to them this year. Out of
Josh Rosen.
Yes, sir. Out of Bosco.
Out of St. John Bosco.
Yes, sir. Top quarterback in the nation coming there. And from what I heard and read today, it seems like a lot of players might have came, offensively to UCLA because of that reason.
Yeah.
They see the best quarterback coming to the nation. Why not go play with him?
Well,
if you're a tight end, if you're a wide receiver, if you're running back, they supposedly got one of the best running backs out of Texas.
They did. Jamabo.
Yeah.
Out of West Plano, Texas high school.
And SC got another top running back out of Texas as well.
Right.
They got the top SC and UCLA. I heard got the 1 and 2 running backs out of Texas.
Exactly.
So we'll have to see how that goes. But
so what's going on in Texas? I mean, Charlie Strong
at Texas.
I understand this is his second year at Texas, I think.
Yeah, this will be his second year.
So I understand he's got to build the program a little bit, but I mean, you've got to give props to Kiffin and Tamora for the recruiting that they're doing. I mean, plus.
No, not Kiffin.
Sorry, did I say Kiffin?
Yeah, you said Kiffin.
Oh, my bad.
Sarkisian. Yes, Sarkisian.
Sark.
Yeah.
And then also, UCLA also got, it was kind of on the fence. Last I saw, they had a really big defensive end. I think it was a defensive end out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Is it defensive end?
I think they're still trying
or
to. Or
linebacker. I think he's outside linebacker.
I think he committed, but they're
Roquan Smith out of Macon County High School. He's verbally committed.
Yeah, they haven't received his letter yet.
Was supposed to sign today. Did you hear about the drama behind this?
I did not know.
So apparently what I heard was that Georgia, the coach from Georgia, called this guy and told him, hey, we've heard through the grapevine that the defensive coordinator for UCLA is going to be leaving to take.
Yeah, he's going to Atlanta.
To the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, sir.
So he said, before you commit over there, you may want to, check your sources or blah, blah, blah. And so he hasn't
Oh, snap. I didn't hear that. I didn't even think about that.
Because Georgia, dude, this kid's in their backyard. They should, he should be signing with them. And, he should be a Bulldog next year.
Yeah.
But so it looks a little, that to me just seems a little bit shady.
Well, I mean, these colleges, they do what they do to get their players, you know what I mean? Whether it's, spreading some news, rumors, or whatever it is, but they got to get those top recruits to make their, they got to make their team as best they can, especially those teams down in the SEC. So, but USC also had a great day too. I think a lot of the websites out there had SC's day ranked, almost in the top 5, if not in the top 3 by most websites out there.
It depends. I mean, everybody's got them in the top 5. The last report I saw, which is on Yahoo Sports, courtesy of Rivals.com. I ain't even drinking tonight. Rivals.com had USC ranked as the top recruiting class for this year. Alabama number 2 and Florida 3. Now, I also checked CBS Sports to see what they had. They had Alabama 1 and SC 2.
Yeah.
So SC definitely right there in the conversation. Then Florida State number 3. Although big difference in those two polls was that CBS had UCLA ranked 7th. Their recruiting class ranked 7th. And Yahoo had them ranked all the way down at number 13.
Yeah, I saw a lot of them with their in that 11 to 12, 13 range. Some of them had them UCLA as high as maybe 6 or 7. So it I'm sure it's to whoever thinks, whatever UCLA needs. And that's how they rank them. But I did see, obviously,
Are you going where I think you're going?
I'm going it. Everybody's probably talked about it. It's probably something people want to talk about. But
you gonna drop it like it's hot?
Yeah, you going to see Snoop's kid?
Cordell Broadus.
Yes, sir, going to UCLA.
Yep.
So they're saying he's like I think he's like a top 25 receiver in the nation.
Ranked number 14
as
far as receivers in the nation.
Yeah, in the nation. So
it might be, I think, top 3 or 5 for the state, for the state of California.
Okay. So coming out of Bishop Gorman High School out there in the, I think in the Empire. So we'll have to see how he does. But, bring him on over. Big receiver, a good solid target for Rosen to throw to. We'll have to see how they get along, but
and they picked up a big tight end also.
Yeah, I heard about
kid by the name of Chris Clark
I think he's like a top 3 tight end.
Avon Old Farm School for Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's what you get out. I mean, it's from Connecticut. Big boy, 6'6", 247 is what he's listing in
That's
at.
what you want. That's a big tight end, right?
That is a big tight end.
That kid
That's
was
a
in high
great
school
guy to
last
have
year?
right there. He was in high school last year, playing like a man amongst boys right there. Unbelievable.
Hates trying to tackle that kid.
So I'm excited to see what they do with this class. I mean, they definitely did some great recruiting.
Yeah.
SC again too. I mean, a formidable class. A lot of top. Imon Marshall, one of the top recruited cornerbacks, the number 1 ranked player in the nation, and USC gets him. So should make for a great rivalry. We'll see who runs the city. We'll talk a little bit more about that and more sports coming up on Mos Bros Sports after the break.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome, and much more. Just out on the site, www.monsterclothingco.com, or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
I used to be the governor, and all I do now is listening to Rant Radio Network. It's funny. It's unpredictable, entertaining. Governor.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mos Bros Sports. I love the hip hop flavor. I love, we're taking ownership of this show, making it Mos Bros, making it Whittier, 562, repping it with a little bit of hip hop here for our suburban guys. We're getting down on it. And welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not tuning in live, we want to thank you for catching the replay on YouTube. You can check it out on YouTube on the iRant Radio Network channel. Just search Mos Bros Sports and you'll be able to find us there. So we've gone through the Super Bowl, gone through recruiting class. Mr. TBD.
No yelling on the bot.
My bad. Where are we going next?
Let's biggest golf event of the year so far. First up,
the first one, the
first
only
one of the year,
the Waste Management Open,
yeah,
in
Phoenix Open, yeah.
Right?
Tiger Woods played terrible, just terrible. Didn't he make the cut?
First round was so. I think he was about par, maybe one over par on the first round.
No, I think
he shot a 72 on the first round. I thought.
No, I think he shot like a 4 or 5 over.
Oh, okay.
And then the next day he shot like an 83 or an 85.
His worst round ever.
Yeah, he finished like 13 or 15
and didn't make the
over.
cut for the weekend.
Didn't make the cut for the weekend.
I should have checked. I can't. I
mean,
should have checked when's the last time he didn't make the cut.
It was like I think it was like 2001 or something.
Actually,
like that.
I think he did last year, but he dropped out.
Yeah.
Or maybe he dropped out on a Saturday. I remember there was one tournament where he's just like, I'm done. He picked up his balls and went home.
Yeah, I was watching not most of it, but I was watching a good portion of it, and his balls on the tee, in the fairway, the little chip shots, putting, nothing was consistent.
It seemed like he was having trouble with anything inside 100 yards, which I'm very familiar with the last couple of times I played.
And also his drives, though, too. His drives, he couldn't get anything straight. Yeah. Everything was going right, and then it'd come back or it'd go left. I mean, I think he had maybe 2 or 3 the day I saw, maybe 2 or 3 down the fairway. Everything else was, it looked like me out there just going straight to the other hole on the right side.
Do you think he's to the point where he's changing and he's tweaking his swing too much? Like, he's got to get to a point where it's like, just leave it alone. This is the point where you're going to compete, because he's changed his swing, coaches, and so many times.
Yeah, he's got a new one now, I think.
Yeah,
too.
and that was part of the reason why people say why he played so bad. He's got a new swing. He's trying it out. I mean, obviously, he's been out on the range and out on the courses before this big tournament, but,
right.
I mean, he was a no-show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I think he might be trying to change it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's getting older. Maybe he realizes he can't hit the ball as hard and far as he used to.
Especially, as far and straight as these younger guys now, too.
Yeah, especially.
Bubba Watson, I think, is one of the longest drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just
and
crushes
you got Rory, too, and all these youngsters out there, too. So, but I he's got to get something back on track. I don't know if he needs, just maybe a big win this weekend at Torrey Pines. They're down in Torrey Pines this weekend.
I think he's going to continue to win tournaments, but I know he's got to. I know
he hasn't won in a while.
He won last time he played a season. He won 5. He won 5. He won 5 tournaments.
Okay.
But, and I could be wrong here, and I don't hope to see it, but I know he's got a lot of career ahead of him still. I don't think he wins another major. I just don't think he's got it in him.
I'd put money on that. I think he wins at least one more.
We might have a little gentleman's agreement on that.
Well, because but look at golfers like Fred Couples, dude, and what's the other guy's name? The Buick commercial guy. There's another older guy.
Mickelson?
No,
Oh,
there's
Mickelson.
an older commercial guy. Anyways, but they like golf when they're in their 50s and stuff like that.
Right.
Not that they're winning every tournament, but they still make it to the Masters.
With Tom Watson, a guy who played
Yeah.
until he was really old too.
Yeah, so they still play in the Masters and stuff like that. They don't win, but they still play.
But that's my point exactly.
It don't matter.
I don't think he's going to win another major. Something in his head, something in his swing. Unless he goes back to banging porn stars or prostitutes again, that might be the only thing that's going to get his head back in the game. And I'm not saying I advocate that, but he's got to find his mojo. It's definitely gone.
Yeah, he needs to do something. He needs to get his swing back on track. Maybe he just needs to realize that he can't hit the ball the way he used to. I hope he has realized it. Maybe he hasn't, and just get his swing straight. And I think he's so super competitive that once he hits a bad shot, it stays with him. As much as he may say, or other people around him may say that, he's super in the moment and he can get over things and stuff like that. I just don't think it's hard once you hit a bad shot to let go of that shot. Once you've played golf, it's a pretty slow game.
Yeah.
You hit a bad shot, you walk to the next ball, and you got to think about what you just did to get, how you stuck
You
in
got
this
5
rough
minutes
over
to
here.
think about it.
Exactly. So it's all little mind games like that. So, but they do have the Torrey Pines Open this weekend. Big tournament.
Farmers Insurance Open down at Torrey
big
Pines.
tournament.
Yeah.
A lot of players out there. I think everybody's coming out for this one.
Right.
So it should be a good tournament down there. Always beautiful weather and stuff like that. So I think and Rory just won the weekend of the Phoenix Open. Rory was over there at that Dubai tournament.
Okay.
And he won that one over there too. So I think he's coming to Torrey Pines to play this weekend. So we should have a lot of the top golfers in the world playing.
A lot of strong young golfers
Yeah.
coming up, and they're not afraid or intimidated by Tiger anymore.
Not
at
anymore.
All.
Nope.
He's. I don't even know if he's worthy of the nickname Tiger anymore. I mean, he's not evoking any fear in anybody.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucks to say because I think a lot of people, and I mean myself included, I think watching Tiger play golf got me into the game for sure.
Yeah.
I think I didn't.
For me, yeah.
I didn't
definitely
watch.
for me.
I didn't watch golf when I was a kid, and I started watching as I got older, and now I can watch it on the weekends and not feel like a dork about it. You know what I mean?
Or not be bored out of your mind.
not be bored out of my mind because I know what
you
they're going through.
understand the game. You know,
yeah, I know what they're going through.
You're trying
so.
to pick up little pointers here and there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I hope it's better for the game too. It makes it more competitive. I mean, you'd love to see a Tiger at the top of his game go against, a Rory or a Phil again, or, Dustin Johnson or
Bubba
or Mr. Puma guy or, any of those top golfers.
Ricky
right now.
Fowler.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler. You'd love to see him go against them. So,
or even what's his name? Dunn. Is it Dunn? What's the guy that's always got the lipper?
Duffner.
Yeah,
Duffner. Yeah, he's good too, though.
Yeah, he's
Kuchar, Matt Kuchar. He's
Matt
good
Kuchar,
too. He's
yeah.
the tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
They can all play. So, let's see what happens with that though.
Yeah.
So,
moving on to the next topic.
Yeah, we can talk
got
a
next?
little NBA if you want to. We got a little All-Star break coming up here. Actually, before we get to that, did you see that plane crash?
I did.
Did you see that little plane crash? It's been on YouTube.
It's not little, man. That thing was nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a small plane, and I think it only had like 60 passengers on it.
Yeah, it was in like China or Japan or something like that.
Taiwan.
Yeah, it flew like right over the bridge and like.
I'll
dashed
say
in.
made in Taiwan.
Dude, it came like right over the bridge though.
Uh-huh.
And I just like, it comes out of nowhere. It comes from left to right. It comes in. It's already like it's tilted on its side. And it's going down. There's nothing saving that plane. I don't know what it crashed into. I think it crashed into the water.
Yeah.
I think it crashed into the
after
water.
the wing clipped that bridge or
hit the
freeway
bridge,
or whatever it was.
And I was just like, oh, I'd hate to be on the bridge or the plane.
Right. The good thing that came out of it is I know that they were pulling out kids that were survivors. So I was
that's
definitely I mean, as tragic as that event is, they're at least happy to see some kind of positive out of
Yeah.
it. Before we go to the NBA, I did want to talk about, I know we don't get a lot big into it, but UFC, big controversial. There was a fight this weekend. It
Right.
was Silva versus Diaz. And
Silva won, right?
came out.
Silva
Silva
won.
won, but Silva came out today testing positive for steroids.
Yeah.
And Diaz tested positive for marijuana.
Right.
This has been UFC's been one of these sports. It's one of the things where
And
they
what's
say
his
that
name?
their guys have been clean. That it's a pure sport. That they don't have pads or anything. And I mean they've got the gloves on, but they're light. They're only like 3 or 4 ounce gloves or something really small like that. Does this put a black eye on the sport? I mean, on Anderson Silva and his legacy that he has. I mean, I know he was recovering from a broken leg, and part of me was thinking, well, he tested positive for steroids. And the story I read or heard was that he tested positive for steroids like 2 months ago, and they buried these results. The UFC never found out about it until after the fight.
That's shady.
That is way shady.
That's shady, yeah.
And the thing on top of that is I'm thinking, well, is this guy going to play a John Smoltz here? And he was recovering from when he snapped his leg in his last fight.
Yeah.
Is he going to say the steroids were in there as recovery? They were just lingering. I mean, does it put a tarnish or a black eye on the UFC or Anderson Silva? You think?
I think it's good for the UFC that they're finding it. I think that helps the sport, whether if it's a clean or dirty sport. Now, if this is just the beginning of a lot to come, then the UFC might have some explaining to do that a lot of these guys might have been doing for a while. John Bone Jones, after he just won a couple weeks ago, he just got he tested positive for cocaine, I think, in his system. So, I mean, now that's like 3 fighters in the last month or two testing positive for some type of substance in their system. So it's up to the UFC. They're gonna have to do more. If they're seeing these 3 guys, top 3 really good big fighters in the UFC right now, they're gonna have to do a lot more testing if it's just in these 3 guys. I don't know. I don't know how random their testing is. I don't know if it's
well, if they're doing it months before the fight, that tells me they're pretty much on top of it.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's months before, but still, how long does it take to get results?
Right.
I don't know if it takes a couple weeks to get results, and if they're hiding it, that's even worse. Now, if it's UFC hiding it, or if it's somebody, taking the samples, or if it's somebody in somebody's camp that's hiding their samples from the UFC, that's a big turd to.
Before we only got a few minutes left on the show, and I wanted to lay out and play this for a little bit because we're both big fans of the Dan Patrick Show. Definitely part of the inspiration for us want to do our own sports talk show. And he had a little bit of smack talk from another sports talk radio host, Colin Cowherd, and his response I just thought was so such a good diss. So I want to play. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want to play some of this and just kind of lay out and listen to it. Listen to how awesome this response is.
Rich brought it up. I'll comment on it briefly, but I guess Colin Cowherd, who was talking about Jim Rome and Skip Bayless's work ethic, and himself, that Colin throwing himself in there about how hard they work, and that I have 35 producers and somehow I'm lazy and don't have a good work ethic. I'm paraphrasing. I was just told about this yesterday. I don't have 35 producers. I don't work at the Worldwide Leader. I do have 2 producers here who did work on Colin's show. And the one thing that I do is I give credit to my producers on the air. It's not a one-man show. So all the people behind the scenes who help Colin do his show, they don't get any recognition. I choose to recognize the people who work on this show. And that's why I have them with me. As far as work ethic, I don't know how hard Colin Cowherd works, or Skip Bayless, or Jim Rome. I assume they work hard. Hope they do. If you want to compare me to Skip Bayless, fine. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. But Colin should understand 2 people who work with me on SportsCenter who are in management at ESPN actually emailed yesterday to apologize, saying they were embarrassed that Colin would bring up something like that. I don't think Colin needs to work harder at understanding how hard we work on this show. That would be my suggestion. And what was it? A couple of years ago, I wasn't on his radar. Now I'm on his show. So must be doing something right. And he's watching the show, which I appreciate. But, hey, you want to criticize? You can criticize. You want to use your airtime? Go ahead. You criticize all you want. If you're criticizing me because of the Rob Gronkowski moment on the podium, you have every right to do it.
And he goes on to say we're running short on time, but he's like, you know what? Call me lazy. He said, do a simulcast.
Yeah.
Host Sports Talk Night, Sports Talk in America. Host Sports Jeopardy.
Right.
And
do
then
the Olympics.
and then do the Olympics. And so just a big that's what you call a drop the mic and walk away.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to Mos Bros Sports. We appreciate it. Come back every Wednesday on the iRant Radio Network at 7 o'clock. Post our Facebook page. Have a great week. We'll catch you next week.